Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Jacqueline Cortez Salmons here at Transformation Health and Wellness in Anaheim Hills, California. We're a little bit late this morning. Sorry for that. We got delayed with patient care, which always comes first. But I wanted to talk with you today a little bit about your own wellness, particularly with your nutrition. I know that during this quarantine, we all went a little bit hog wild. We were kind of eating things that we don't normally eat. We were ordering out a lot, which I think was a great idea from a support your community standpoint, making sure that you were kind of supporting those local restaurants and that sort of thing. But then we started ordering pizza again and again and again. And I'm thinking that truly the epidemic of COVID-19 in a lot of respects is going to be the 19 pounds that we all gain while we've been sitting on quarantine. It's been tough because we haven't been in our normal routine for those of us who are able to get up, drop the kids off, go to the gym, do our thing, get our grocery shopping, meal prep. I mean, we've really been out of that routine. We've got other distractions at home. We're working. We've got Zoom meetings coming in. We've got all of these kind of things that are distractions. So it's been really, really difficult for a lot of us to be able to stay on track in that regard. So what I would recommend is a really good time, particularly as we're starting to open up in a lot of areas. And also because it's summertime and we want to feel great being outdoors, having that sun hit our skin. We don't want to be in our parkas. I am right now because our air conditioning's turned way up. But with that, I think it would be a really optimal time to do a detox. Now, whether you want to make one at home or whether you want to purchase one that is pre-made kind of remains to be seen, whatever is working best for you. We have several here at the office that we have that are sort of pre-packaged. Everything's in a nice, tidy little box. They come with the instructions and everything there. But I think it's something that's important to do usually on a quarterly basis. It's something that you want to stay on top of and keep that liver nice and fresh, keep your intestinal tract nice and clear with the good microbiome, getting the glutathione into your system to detoxify, antioxidize, getting all those free radicals pulled out of your system. That's so important because otherwise we get this what's called a toxic burden. And with the toxic burden, we have a lot of toxins floating around in our cells. And primarily, as our body's trying to identify them and doesn't know what to do with them, it shoves them into fat cells. Okay. And so we get a lot of those fat cells are sort of engorged. We stop building new fat cells when we're about 12. So kind of those are the number of fat cells you have. That's all you get. So they either expand or contract, but they don't necessarily multiply. But with that expansion, then they start to hold toxins in there, estrogen and then other toxins, free radical oxidative species, or reactive oxidative species, I should say. All of those things are kind of tucked into those cells. So now as we're getting out and we're running and we're trying to lose weight, as we kind of squeeze out those fat cells, they start to contract, we're building muscle mass, all of those toxins get squished out. And how do we feel? Like crumb. We feel really, really terribly when that's happening. And so then a lot of us just don't detox, right? We're like, forget it. I don't want to have those 3 days of feeling really terrible. I don't want to do that. I feel crummy every time. When you can get past those first 2 to 3 days of your body beginning to detoxify, you start to feel that lift and you feel elevated. You get more energy. You're sleeping better. You feel cleaner. You want to make better food choices because you are cleaning your system out. But those first couple of days are really representative and really kind of how terribly you feel tells you how much you needed it to be able to get all of that stuff pushed out of your system. So you want to be on a good type of program that's going to help to bind all of those toxins and get them pushed out of the system so that they're not just accumulating in that bloodstream. Otherwise, what happens if we end up accumulating all these toxins in our bloodstream? One, we feel like crap, right? But then secondly, our body wants to dilute it. So we get all this toxins, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. So it starts shoving them back into fat cells. And then those fat cells start to expand again, and we regain all the weight that we've just lost during our detoxing process or our weight loss process. So that's why it's very optimal to make sure that you're checking in with a physician, doing a detox under supervised conditions so that you do it appropriately and you feel best, right? So we want you to feel well. And I think that this is an important time too for us to regroup. detoxing is really almost spiritual for a lot of us because it is that time where we sort of reconnect with our bodies. We're checking in. We stop the alcohol. We stop the caffeine. We're not, going haywire all over the place with our dietary choices because it's already preset for us. So we're eating our shakes. We're doing our little capsules for the detoxing, and we're in our groove. And then as we start to add things back in, the first thing you're adding back in is not Oreos, right? You're usually making pretty reasonable food choices, adding in those grains, adding in your fruits, vegetables, your lean proteins, lots of roughage. Remember, fiber is the fuel for our flora. Right? So, meaning that the fiber that we find in whole fruits and vegetables is actually what sustains our natural microbiome in our intestines. And so, by feeding our body fiber, is going to really help a huge advantage for the microbiome inside of our gut. So again, that detox, whether it's 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, whatever you can sustain, buy a 14-day pack, right? And split it with your spouse. So the two of you can each do a 7-day. That's one way of doing it as well. So I'll have a lot of patients do that in my practice. But this is really an optimal time because then you're going to feel fresh. You're going to feel ready to fight, take on the world, take on your new responsibilities outside of the home and get back on track into that work mode, the school mode, whatever mode it is, even just summer mode, and not necessarily retoxing with a lot of the things that we have in our environment, refocusing where we're at with drinking, where we're at with other substance use. I know that those things have gone up substantially in my practice. People are drinking a whole lot more. We're baking with our kids. We're doing a lot of this really kind of fun stuff, but then it ends up not being so fun when we try on our cute shorts and things are hanging out over the top and things are hanging out underneath the bottom. And so it's not cute and sexy anymore. So it's definitely time that we should start kind of regrouping. Use this time to your advantage. There's not the excuse now, oh, I have this meeting at the office. Oh, I have to go in. Oh, I have to be here. I have to be there. I can't possibly do a detox right now. I don't have time for that. We have the time now. So make use of that time. And then again, use that time as you're adding foods back in to make good, healthful food choices and make sure that you're staying on track with what your goals are. I hope this really helps. I know it was kind of a short-lived Wellness Wednesday. I don't see any comments going on over there, but I'll love to catch up with you next week. Make sure that you're tuning in for Field Trip Fridays. We're going to have a surprise for you this Friday and do a brand new field trip. So we'd love to see you on board with that. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'll be happy to answer any of those questions for you. Make sure that you're subscribing and turning on the notifications, the little bell there in the corner, and that'll help to notify you when I am having a video or I've posted something new so that you can stay on track with what we're talking about. I'll talk with you soon. Have a great rest of your week.